Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That's right. No hands, and we're talking about The Fall Guy. The Fall Guy, released in 2024, directed by David Leitch. A movie where Ryan Gosling plays a stuntman who tries to rekindle his love with Emily Blunt's character as she debuts as a director. A movie that really caught me by surprise. I did not understand what the plot was by the trailer. I actually thought it was more of him trying to make her fall in love with him, not rekindle the love that they used to have. So that was kind of surprising, but let's just get right into the 10 essential aspects of a movie. First is plot. Does the movie follow a comprehensive story arc and is plausible within the world that has been created? Yes, I love the plot of this movie. I think it's really well done. It focuses on a movie within a movie. It's about making a movie while you're watching a movie. I like that. It's kind of unique and cool. Kind of gives you some insights into how a movie is made. And of course, they focus on the stuntman aspect, the man who is forgotten, who does all the dangerous things. It's cool. They do a good job with it. I really enjoyed it. Second is attraction. Does the movie have an interesting premise with a high entertainment value? It is entertaining. However, I'll say this movie tricked me. I watched the trailer. I was not interested at all. I only went to watch it because it's the most popular movie in the theaters right now. And that's what I try to do to make a video, is watch the most popular movie. So that's what it was. Otherwise, I probably would have never watched this movie. And it's kind of a shame because the trailers don't give it justice for what the movie is really about and how good it actually is. It is funny and it has a good premise to it, but I feel like they kind of missed on the advertising side of that. Third is theme. What message or truth is the movie trying to convey? Now this can be that tricky aspect of a movie because sometimes people see a theme or a message that I don't see. I didn't necessarily see one in this movie. I feel the movie was really going for making a movie that pays respect to all of the stuntmen who have made movies great. They feel forgotten about, but they're so important, and they make some of the best scenes in cinema history the best scenes. And so I feel the message was just to give all the stuntmen out there who feel like they've been forgotten a movie that pays respect to them. Fourth is dialogue. Is there a real feel to the conversations? Now, dialogue is one of those tricky categories because it goes with acting, and acting can sometimes go with dialogue. I think the dialogue in this movie is done really well. The conversations do feel authentic. There are moments that characters kind of fall into a very stereotypical bad guy monologue or conversation that is just so typical in a romance movie. That happens a couple times, but it's not that bad. It really doesn't take you out of it. They do a pretty good job. Fifth is acting. Are the characters convincing? The characters in this movie are good. Ryan Gosling does a great job. I just love Ryan Gosling. He does such a good job at playing a very likable character. Plays such a normal guy. It's really well done. His connection with Emily Blunt in this movie is really well done. You really feel like these two people like each other, that they could get together and have a really good relationship. That really helps in a movie like this because you need to be able to cheer for the main character going through all of this crap for someone. You have to feel that they need to be with that someone, that they are going to be together and it'll be a good relationship. They do a great job. They're both seasoned actors and they pull it off. Six is cinematography. Is there a creative use of lighting, setting, and wardrobe to convey emotion? The cinematography in this movie is just okay, you know? It's really a entertainment movie. It's not made for these really intense scenes. They do a good job with what they have, though. I like the wardrobe and the settings. They do a lot of different places. You see a lot of different things. You're noticing what people are wearing. It's interesting. It's got its own little flair. I liked it. Does it blow me out of the water? No, but it's not really supposed to. It does a good job with what it has. Seventh is editing. And this is all about the pacing of the movie. Now, the movie is about 2 hours and 5 minutes. Now, for a romance comedy movie made for entertainment, that's long. Did it feel 2 hours long? No, it didn't. It actually did a good job with the story to make you forget how long the movie really is. But I will say, towards the end of this movie, I was feeling it. I was ready to go. There's a specific part where they kind of start hatching a plan, and that moment is where I in the theater was like, okay, finally this plan's coming. Let's wrap this up. Let's get this movie going. So I do wish it was much shorter. It's just not. There's no need for this movie to be 2 hours long. Now, eighth is soundtrack. The soundtrack is good in this movie. It's not memorable. It's not something that will be looked at years later. But the songs that they chose, I feel, match the scenes that they had and gave the vibe they were going for. So I enjoyed the soundtrack to this movie. Ninth is directing. Now, directing is all about the previous 8 categories. I feel the director is in charge of putting all those together and making a cohesive, good movie. Now, David Leitch, this is his 5th directing role. He had previously directed Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, and then The Fall Guy. I have not seen 2 of those. I did see Deadpool 2 and I did see Bullet Train. I love those movies. Those are really good movies. I enjoyed them a lot. This movie is on par with those. I do feel it's a little less. I think those previous movies were just a little more interesting concept-wise. However, he's a really good director. I think he knows comedy very well. I like his comedy. He chooses actors and actresses that fit well for their characters. So I give him praise for this movie. I hope he makes a ton more. 10th is time. Does it stand the test of time? It might stand the test of time. I feel it'll probably get forgot about by a lot of people, but it will stand time as a good movie. I think the comedy is well written. I think the actors and actresses did a very good job. So those things won't go away, and it will still be a good movie. However, I feel it is a little forgettable and will probably just, mix in with all those other movies that are just good, not great. Now for the review section. Rotten Tomatoes critics give it an 82, the audience gives it an 87, and IMDb gives it a 73. I think IMDb is the one that's on par here. I think people like this movie because it's a good movie, but when you have to compare it to every movie that's ever been made, 80s are high. A B is a real good grade when you compare it against thousands and thousands of others. I give it a C. I give it that 70, mid 70, in between there. It's a good movie. It's well done. However, it's lacking a couple things to just make it that much better, especially compared to other movies. Alright, rankings, the best part. For 2024, on the entertainment side, it's going to be number 1 over Civil War. Civil War is it's a heavier movie. It's more cinematic. I feel like it's kind of an obvious ranking. This movie is made for entertainment, and it does it well. For the cinematic side, I'm going to put it second, below Civil War, for the same reasons it's above it in entertainment, and above Ungentlemanly Warfare. Something I didn't like about Ungentlemanly Warfare is it felt like a mess. I feel The Fall Guy does a good job of doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to be entertaining, it's supposed to be funny. It does that. And it even sprinkles in some of those cinematic aspects in there, which I enjoyed. For the decade of the 2020s, it's going to unfortunately be the same list because I have not done a movie outside of 2024 yet. And for all time on the entertainment side, it's going to be third, just below Toy Story and above The Mist. Above The Mist for the same reasons it's above Civil War in 2024. It's below Toy Story in the whole 9 yards just for that runtime. It's just a little long. It's 2 hours. For me, an entertainment movie, a romance comedy, 2 hours is just a little long. It didn't hold my attention that long. And when we're talking about ranking it against every movie, you have to start nitpicking those things. Toy Story and the whole 9 yards are shorter and entertaining, so they just beat it out. For cinematography, it's going to be fifth, below The Mist for the same reasons. It's above The Mist in entertainment and just above the whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards is entertaining, but I feel The Fall Guy does have some of those cinematic aspects. A lot of the stunts are done really well. The camera and choreography is really well done. Some of the camera angles are cool. The wardrobe is interesting. Some of the set pieces are interesting. I do feel there are some cinematic aspects that the whole 9 yards doesn't have. giving it the leg up in cinematography. Now that's all I've got for The Fall Guy. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a great movie. If you have seen it, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Otherwise, comment what I should do next. I'm Mr. Majoritarian. Stay classy, San Diego.